What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, we're going to do some Atlanta Falcons news and notes. And then we're going to talk about another player that I think the Atlanta Falcons should consider drafting in this upcoming 2020 NFL draft. But as always, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys that has recently subscribed and who continues to support the channel. Definitely share this out to all of your fan pages on Facebook. Share this on Twitter. Anywhere you can share it, definitely share this out to all the Atlanta Falcons family. I appreciate all of you guys. Shout out to all the other content creators out there that are also making videos about our Atlanta Falcons. We are, all a part of the brotherhood. So I appreciate you guys as well. But as always, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So first, we're going to start with the Atlanta Falcons news and notes. If you didn't see yesterday, if you didn't get the if you don't have the Atlanta Falcons app, or you didn't see it on Facebook or on Twitter, we did go ahead and re-sign Steven Means to a 1-year deal. Steven Means has been on our team for about 2 seasons. He didn't play last season because he had a season-ending injury, I believe, in training camp. It was either a torn Achilles or a torn ACL. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but he is coming back next season on a 1-year deal. I don't think it was too much money we spent on him. It was kind of probably like a veteran minimum type situation. But I do like him coming back because we need the depth on the defensive line. You can never have enough pass rushers. And as you know, with us letting go of Vic Beasley, we're really slim, or our defensive ends, we're very short when it comes to defensive ends and edge rushers right now until the draft and until free agency. We want to see what we do. But currently, we don't have much depth on the defensive line. So it's definitely good to bring him back on that 1-year deal to add that depth. He can spell those guys like a Tack McKinley, a John Kaminsky. He could be somebody that comes off the bench in rotation and try to get after the passer. Steven Means goes about 6'3", 265 pounds. And he's a pretty solid player. He's not going to be he hasn't been in his career like a double-digit sack type of guy. He's been mainly a guy who can get you about 3 to 4 sacks a season. So he's not somebody that's going to really knock your socks off or probably impress you. Now, I hope that he proves me wrong. I'm not trying to speak negative, about Steven Means, but I haven't seen much in his career where it shows that he's going to be like a breakout player or anything, or a star type player. He's just one of those rotational pieces, kind of like when we had Brooks Reed on this team. He's like one of those Brooks Reeds type that can come in and spell some guys and bring some pressure off the edge, and also be that player that's cutting off the edge for running backs, that's setting the edge. So I do like the pickup of bringing him back. Also, some other quick news. If you haven't been following, if you're not on Twitter and if you're not following any of the Atlanta Falcons beat writers, anything, I kind of follow all of the Atlanta Falcons beat writers and 92.9 The Game, and a lot of those guys. Kelsey Conway on not on Facebook, but on Twitter. I follow her, and she was saying that we shouldn't expect any splash signings for the Atlanta Falcons, that we should expect the lower tier pass rushers this offseason. And it's a list of names on AtlantaFalcons.com that they were mentioning that we possibly could sign, like a Marcus Golden that played with the New York Giants last year. They also had Dante Fowler on there. He was like the biggest name that was on the list that she mentioned. It was Mario Addison of the Carolina Panthers up there, and a few other players that they say we might go after. I believe the other guy was Carl Nassib that played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And these are all just kind of like rotational guys. Personally, off the list that I saw on AtlantaFalcons.com, the player that I would go after if it was up to me with the second tier pass rushers, if we're not going to be able to get like a Dante Fowler or one of the top end guys that can rush the pass off the edge, out of the names I seen on AtlantaFalcons.com, I would probably go with Marcus Golden from the New York Giants last year. He had, I think, 10 sacks. He led the Giants in sacks last year, the New York Giants. I have watched Marcus Golden over the years. He originally was drafted out of Missouri. And he was playing with the Arizona Cardinals for like 4 years that he played with the Arizona Cardinals. And he was a pretty good player when he played with Arizona. Plays with a high motor. He is kind of a smallish player off the edge. He goes about 6'2", 6'3", 250 pounds. He's not one of the bigger guys, but he does play with a high motor. Can use his hands, can bull rush, can speed rush. But his biggest, weakness probably was consistency. When he was in Arizona, he did battle injuries and he wasn't really that consistent. And that's the reason that the Cardinals allowed him to walk in free agency, which he went and signed with the New York Giants last year. I do think he could come in and also be a rotational guy if we can use him to add depth on the defensive line. As I was saying, you can never have enough pass rushers. So if we don't want to spend that, top dollar on a guy, if we're going to spend a bargain, you look for a bargain guy or someone that's not going to cost the Atlanta Falcons too much money in free agency. I think Marcus Golden would be the guy I would go after from the list I seen on AtlantaFalcons.com. And like I was saying, Marcus Golden can bring some things to the table. He's not someone that's probably going to be your top tier pass rusher. That probably will be Pat McKinley or one of the guys that we bring in this draft to be the top or featured guy. But I definitely can see Marcus Golden also coming in and being a rotational guy, kind of like Steven Means, where he can come in and, give us probably 6 to 10 sacks in the season, which isn't bad. That's pretty much what Tack's been giving us and what Vic Beasley has been giving us over the last couple years. So I definitely think that he could come in and help this pass rush and kind of help bolster the pass rush and give him a shot in the arm, or give us a shot in the arm. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and talk about the player that I would like us to consider drafting. And that player's name is Zach Baun out of the University of Wisconsin. This player goes at 6'3", 240 to 245 pounds. Zach Baun is actually a linebacker that played with Wisconsin last season. He's very versatile. He can also bring pressure off the edge and offer some pass rushing, in pass rush situations. He definitely can be used in that way. Wisconsin used him all over the field. He did have 12 and a half sacks with Wisconsin last year. And he was a very good collegiate player, a solid collegiate player. And I would love to see the Falcons bring him in through the draft, possibly draft him maybe in the second round with one of those second round picks, or maybe the first, third round pick for us if he's still around. But he's definitely a player that I think is being overlooked, kind of like when I referred to Terrell Lewis in the last video. I think that Zach Baun is really being overlooked. I definitely think that he's a first round prospect, but he may go in the second or third round because he's not the upper echelon edge rusher. But I think you can use him in some edge rushing situations and as a linebacker. So I really think he could help the Atlanta Falcons, being that if we lose Devondre Campbell, I think he could come in and also be another linebacker that we use in that rotation with Afoye Aluakon and Deion Jones. I think he also on third downs could be used as a pass rusher coming off the edge. And who he reminds me of is TJ Watt. If you remember the year that we drafted Tack McKinley, I wanted the Atlanta Falcons to draft TJ Watt. I did watch TJ Watt's collegiate career when he was at Wisconsin, and these guys look very similar. If you watch the tape on TJ Watt and then you go watch the tape of Zach Baun, they both look similar, very similar. TJ Watt is a little bit taller and I think weighs a little bit more now that he's been in the NFL and being able to, lift weights and things of that nature and work on his body. TJ Watt has got a lot bigger and stronger since his college days or his collegiate days. And I think the same thing will need to happen with Zach Baun. When he first comes in, he definitely is going to need to put on some more weight possibly and lift some weights and things of that nature, get on a meal plan so he can build up those muscles. But, I'm not too worried about that. That's what the professionals' jobs are. These dietitians and stuff like that and team trainers, they can get your body, help you gain weight and help you keep your body chiseled and in shape. So that's why I'm not too afraid of bringing in someone like Caleb Von Chason out of LSU, just for the mere fact that I know when they come in and they come into the facility, they're definitely going to work with weight trainers and stuff like that. That'll get their body more prepared for battle for the NFL. So and ready to deal with these grown men that's in the NFL. But I definitely think that Zach Baun is a player that we should consider. He's definitely another Swiss Army knife type player. And if you've been watching my videos, I like those Swiss Army knife type guys that you can use in multiple situations, not just in one situation, because in the NFL now, it's all about matchups. And most teams like to, especially a lot of these new head coaches and offensive coordinators, it's starting to get to like they're running these college style offenses where they're spreading teams out, kind of like the Arizona Cardinals with Cliff Kingsbury, and even like the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions. They like to spread you out. They like to do a lot of jet sweeps and stuff like that. So you need athletes that can keep up with these other athletes that these offensive teams, these offensive juggernauts have. And Zach Baun is one of those guys that can cover a running back out of the backfield, can drop into coverage and cover the tight ends, and also can bring pressure off the edge as like an edge rusher where you can stand him up and he can come off the edge, kind of like a TJ Watt does. And with those 12 and a half sacks last year, Zach Baun proved that he definitely can be disruptive and also can play the defensive end or come off the edge like a defensive end or edge rusher. So I definitely would like to see the Falcons take a look at him. Like I said, I don't think it's going to take too much draft capital to get him. I do think he'll be around, especially in the second round. I don't know if he'll be around in the third round, but I definitely think he'll be around in the second round where we may be able to draft him with that second round pick, the second or the number 2 second round pick that we have, because we did get the Patriots second round pick. So I would definitely look at bringing Zach Baun in as another player that can come in, be versatile, play defensive end, and play that linebacker role if need be. It's always good to have players that can do multiple jobs, because you never know when somebody's going to go down with injury. So if you got a player that can play multiple positions, that's just a plus. And I think Zach Baun would definitely be a plus to the Atlanta Falcons, being that he's so versatile. You can use him in a lot of different ways. Kind of like we tried to use Vic Beasley. I don't think we did it enough, but I do think that Raheem Morris, now that he's taken over the defense, he knows how to put players in the best position. And I do think that Zach Baun will be able to come in if he's put in the right situations, which I think Raheem Morris and those guys will put him in the right situations where he can, bring some pressure off the edge, get a couple sacks, also get his hand on a couple footballs, couple interceptions, covering, like I said, the running backs out of the backfield. I definitely can see Zach Baun fitting the Atlanta Falcons style of play. Another thing I love about the kid is he's very physical. He comes downhill and he's a thumper. And when he comes downhill, he comes with bad intentions. So I definitely like this kid. I definitely think that he'll be special. He could be a special player and can be a very versatile player for us if we decide to bring him in and draft him. But I definitely think the Falcons should consider bringing him in and possibly drafting him with one of those second round picks, or maybe even in the third round. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you think about Zach Baun. Definitely go view his tape on YouTube, or if anybody's broken down tape. I watch a lot of different guys like Avash Lombardi. He does a good job of breaking down film. I also, Brian Baldinger does a great job. It's a lot of different guys out there on YouTube that do a solid job of breaking down tape. Lieutenant Dan and Unintentional Grounding. He's an Atlanta Falcons YouTuber as well. He also does a good job of breaking down tape. But all of those guys, I would definitely, get a stamp of approval when it comes to breaking down tape and stuff like that. So definitely go try to look up Zach Baun and see what you think once you view his tape. Like I said, the dude is very aggressive, can flow sideline to sideline, definitely can be used as a linebacker or edge rusher. And I think he could add something special to this Atlanta Falcons team. It could be a steal in the draft if we can get our hands on him. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew signing off. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. And as always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.